not?
Yes, everyone said yes. Let's go. Here we are. We're live too late. We're now doing the thing. Just lucky to have the work. Sun Electronics. I have extremely limited games played. I don't think I played a second of a video game without you guys.
I tried to play something, and I'll talk about that.
All right. An attempt was made. I talk about many attempts to play games.
Me and Bram played the same thing, and I played way better on my PC. So.
Oh.
I love how you already know.
Then there's that.
Yeah, because it says it on my PC that you try to play it. So.
Oh, shit.
It was dog shit.
Oh. Find out later. Attempt was made.
Well, the version I played.
Mine was 4K 60 frames per second in mine.
Oh, I bet it looked glorious.
I have to
It
find,
did.
I
It
have to
looked
find
great.
out what this is later on.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Why is Twitch not twitching?
Twitch should be twitching. Do 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 do. Dude's fast. My Twitch is twitching, Brant. Is your Twitch not twitching?
Yeah, I don't see it on here either.
Twitch should be twitching.
I got a notification I tried to pull it up and it was just a black screen with a loading.
I'm there.
One of
I'm looking at us.
the people I follow is playing.
My Twitch is twitching, Brant. Is your Twitch not
game.
twitching?
It's horrible.
You own it, Cesar?
I do. I don't think I've ever actually put more than 2 seconds on a game.
Just a black screen with a loading.
I'm there.
I think I may have just.
Are y'all still on the black loading screen?
No, mine's good. I think.
Oh, Renee retweeted us. Renee, you're the best. Thank you, Renee. I just helped a 7th grader with a 7th grade math problem. Wow. I did it. What's up with Kanye in these outfits and the current Mrs. Kanye in her outfits, or lack thereof?
Don't pay any attention to any of that, unfortunately, to help you with that.
These outfits are something else, Cesar. You haven't seen these things yet.
No, I'm good.
KT says, it's working, I'm here.
I'm good.
Thank you, KT.
Her name has censor in it, and she doesn't follow it, so.
Her name has censor in it?
Yeah. Censori.
Kanye loves the way Kanye's. I agree, Boish. It's interesting. I got that question right. Alright, Murmy said the gang's all here. We're good. We're all set, people.
Yay.
If you weren't set, you're not our people.
Yay.
But it's not too late. You can still join us. We do this for what, 2.5 hours?
Oh, God, I hope not.
2 hours. Since ours 8:13, we won't be done by till 10. Maybe like 9:30 tonight. We got a Warzone stream in on for us.
I mean, if we finish...
Possibly.
Oh, so you're telling me there's a chance.
If you linger about, then maybe not.
Tonight's news. Ubisoft cuts jobs. There's a Nintendo Museum opening October 2nd. Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC. We don't know when. Actually, we do. Find out later. Maybe not. There's a demo. New Atari console coming out. Plays the same games as the last one, and not sure about the Game Pass games. If you're that interested, turn on your Xbox. Would you guys play some Warzone? Me too. Let's go.
Let's
Back to the Warzone.
go.
back to Warzone.
Back to the
For instance,
Warzone.
since you brought up Warzone,
Gear up.
Gosh.
You're headed to the Warzone.
here's your pack. You've got a laptop computer in here.
Why does it sound like a weird?
some gravy and some something fried Twinkies.
God damn, what is he handing
It's
out?
like a-
Hardee's drive-through stuff?
a weird Magnolia Network TV show you're describing.
It's all Magnolia Network programming. All right, let's go live and do this thing.
Just waiting for Joe
We are live, aren't we?
Gaines or whatever name has come out there.
I mean, we're live. I'm not recording. Now I'm recording. Hitting record is the hardest part.
Is it?
Yep.
Just like
Record.
Sheryl Crow sang about.
That was
When
first
did you
cut-
say
cut
that?
the deep-
What's close to that? When did she sing about that? Brant said. Oh yeah, it was the first cut is the deepest. Now hitting record is the hardest.
Yeah.
Hitting
There you go, that's the second
record
one,
is
right?
the hardest. You'll never know.
I don't know. I'm over here Manchurian Candidate with Shania Twain songs in my head.
Buish is already on Buish is already on Warzone. He said he's loading up Warzone. He thought the show was over.
Oh wow.
We ran through that thing.
You swapped the alcohol for green tea. I'm proud of you, sir.
I mean, it's just order of operations. Some things may have already been enjoyed, and while recording, another item is being enjoyed. These are good. Have you ever had these?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love these things.
It's kind of like my stimulant depressant. That typical order.
Similar. Very similar. Something of a stimulant depressant enjoyer myself.
It's been a while since I had the stimulant part, but yeah.
I've mostly just been subsiding on depressants these days. Down and down and down and down.
I can only afford, my body can only afford one habit at a time. So
One vice.
yeah,
Sorry.
can't have both.
Sorry.
That means I'll be out of control, man. I'll be invisible.
Sorry,
Can't be stopped.
my body's only observing one vice at this point. Check
Get
back
to it,
later.
man. I'm unbeatable.
Oh shit.
All we got to do is just get Brand to just take one of the devices. Come on, Brand, join us.
Which vice?
I would say the drinking's better.
Brant, smoking. I think it might be smoking for me and you. I'll venture in there with you.
Smoking is dangerous.
I don't get addicted to it, so we could just dabble.
I'm good.
Brant, we could just dabble.
I mean, I was a child with asthma. I don't know how that's still going.
You outgrew it. You said child. That was
I don't know if
16
I
years
grew
ago.
out of it. I mean, I guess I grew out of it.
You're done.
I haven't had any asthmatic attacks.
You're
I was
good, right, yeah.
hospitalized once though, so
While smoking?
no, for the asthma.
Damn, would somebody make you smoke a whole carton? You're gonna learn not to
King of
smoke
the Hill
smoke
episode.
Yeah.
In Japanese.
Oh god.
That specific clip, Richard.
Japanese King of the Hill was good. I would watch it. Stupid. You haven't lived until you've heard stupid redneck neighbor in Japanese. Murphy says you pick up cigarettes, I'll fight you. Buish says peer pressure him in all caps.
Nope, I'm good.
Nah,
Him.
I haven't had a hankering for cigarettes in a while, so I'm good.
We take it up. We're allowed
I
at
don't-
smoke breaks.
oh. I don't smoke at all unless I'm in the backyard smoking a Boston butt.
There we
Oh,
go.
brisket,
ayo.
or-
Yeah. It's a different type of smoking going on.
Murphy said wine is a great vice. I do agree.
I never could get into wine. That's not me. That's more of a Renee thing than me anything else.
Recent obsession. I need to speak with Renee then.
Yeah, y'all can bond on that. I don't.
Get friend of the show, Renee on the horn.
I can't do wine. It gives me a headache. So
Was it white wine or red wine?
all types of wine.
All types of wine?
Strawberry wine.
Yeah, my body's allergic to wine.
17. Brandon Hood's right there. It just doesn't lead into anything.
I was just gonna do the one-liner. You're trying to take it. I'm like, nope, we're not doing
I
this.
did the one-liner.
I wanted to die.
I was like, what?
I had the easy one. You set me up for the easy one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 315 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and stimulant podcast and depressant podcast. It has to be both.
More so depressant nowadays than stimulant, but yeah.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all don't wake up with stimulants and stimulate throughout the... I know Brant doesn't. Brant's a monster.
I mean, it's weird when you say it like that.
He doesn't drink
You don't
coffee.
Stimulate throughout the day.
He doesn't drink coffee. It's a known quantity for Brant.
Oh, coffee. There you go.
Young Rambiki.
You got to be very peculiar about the.
Okay, what stimulants were we talking about here? We were talking about caffeinated beverages and alcoholic beverages. So what classification is tobacco products? Is that a depressant?
Nah, it's a stimulant.
Yeah, nicotine.
That is a stimulant? Okay, yes, nicotine.
Yeah.
Okay, Brant, you do not wake up with nicotine then. I was never saying you were. My,
heroin.
that's a hell of a
That's
way
a
to wake
depressant.
up. That's both.
Whoa, how do we get so extremely in that direction?
I don't know. It's intense. This podcast took a hard right. Let's get it back on the tracks.
Brand's like, we get the natural opium, man.
Yeah.
oatmeal.
Fuck coffee. Fuck coffee when you have heroin.
Yeah, when I can just go out in the backyard and just pick out some opium.
Do you
Fresh
take
off the bush.
Do you prefer your coffee black? No, but I prefer my heroin black tar.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude, cooked at the source. And growing poppy fields in your backyard, according to SR, apparently.
We are. I'd like to say for everybody and all law enforcement, these are jokes. These are not reflective of our thoughts or views.
Oh, please. I'll put that shit right up on the wall next to all the cease and desists and everything.
Well, when the DEA comes knocking,
That's fine, too. I'll sign that. It's just a document. You just have to put your signature on there.
Nah, it's cool, man. We just take a piss test. We're good. I know I'm clean.
Yeah,
So.
I'm clean.
You don't have to tell me. Why are you, pleading your innocence on here?
Hey, man, you like to gamble. I'm not gambling.
Listen, I don't gamble. I just collect the trophies that say I've potentially violated some
trophy
sort of
I
want
honor.
Yeah.
I said trophies, Brant.
And here's my warrant for the DEA.
Yeah,
when they
Rich
kick
got
in
like
my door.
here's my notice for bail for $200,000 for me to get out of the jail.
Yeah, that's good shit. Thanks, Patreon funds. Tonight's news, when we're not trying to get bailed out of jail. Ubisoft cuts jobs. Boo. Nintendo Museum. Is that a game?
Okay,
Question mark?
I'll buy that game.
Yeah, we'll get that a question mark. I will buy that game too. I was very impressed with this presentation. Final Fantasy 16 gets PC release date and demo. I want to know, does it run on Steam Deck? I want to see how that looks. New Atari console announced? Question mark. Threw that one in there, Brant. I don't think a lot has changed
Just for you, Brant.
since our last announcement, but we'll see. And we have your April Wave 2 Game Pass games. Why are we calling them waves? Is that an official thing from Microsoft now?
Yep.
Why?
Are we calling them waves? Cesar reads
No,
the
no,
waves,
no.
and he announced what's leaving on the waves.
Oh.
Merman says, who else joining up to be a stripper for Richard's bail? Why is it just me? Why am I getting bailed out?
I mean, you want it on your wall. So.
We're all sharing a cell. Richard's the only one getting bail.
3 NOFODcast members, 1 toilet.
I mean, everybody close your eyes.
Did they give me a different diet from you guys? Will they feed me appropriately, or is it
I mean, I think they have to
Yeah, they have to
Great.
accommodate you medically. So.
I'll trade
provide you life-saving medicine that you need.
I'll trade rolls for whatever vegetables you guys have. Are we trading rolls in our prison cell?
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be in prison. This is the worst scenario ever.
I don't want to go.
We'll Andy Dufresne it. We'll get those rocks out of the cell faster with 3 of us.
No, Andy
All that
Dufresne
rubble.
suffered many misfortunes.
Yes, he
before he got
did.
out of there, so.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Not
he
Andy
did.
Dufresne it. I'm not Andy Dufresne.
Yes, he did indeed.
The shower.
And then he somehow broke through a pressurized main in the bottom of a correctional facility.
Yeah, he got out in the sewage, man. Get out of here.
Cesar, it shouldn't have been
Hydrogen sulfide,
pressurized.
man.
It never should have blown up in his face. It should have just been like a trickle out the bottom of the pipe.
Yeah, you've established that.
I'm trying to break holes in the masterpiece.
But
Shawshank
the
Redemption.
hydrogen sulfide would definitely make that top of that pipe easier to crush.
Yeah, but then it would have just been instead of
yeah, it would have just crumbled in.
a shit geyser in his face. Man, if we use profane titles, we could use shit
Movie has to
geyser.
be dramatic. Yeah.
What's that, Cesar?
This movie has to be dramatic. So
Yeah, it had to have
True.
a triumphant finale. Because the adversities that you mentioned before was not enough to really hammer home his ordeals in
he deserved his Mexico vacation.
Yes.
his lifelong Mexico vacation
Mm-hmm.
that he eventually got from Morgan Freeman.
I'm assuming he runs into that guy from Office Space on there too. They're on that same beach.
Milton's down there getting Mai Tais.
Yeah.
If they take my swing line stapler, if they move my office one more time. To the news, bad news from Tom Ivan at VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com. Ubisoft cuts 45 jobs at U.S. studios behind XDefiant and Rocksmith. Assassin's Creed publishers San Francisco and Cary, North Carolina offices hit with layoffs. Like how they said Assassin's Creed publishers. That's just the subtitle. Cary, North Carolina, is that where Limited Run's at? Aren't they in that same vicinity?
That sounds about right.
I don't know. Now I'm questioning because when Brent came in, it's like, whoa. And I was like, damn it, Brent. Now I thought it was Rayleigh.
Rayleigh, the boss from Sly
Rayleigh.
Cooper. The frog.
Hey, man, every time I see that name, I'm like, oh, North Carolina, the Frog.
As Cesar looks that up, as reported by Bloomberg, the cuts are spread across Ubisoft.
It's, believe it or not, they're in Apex, North Carolina.
Where's Apex?
Oh,
Never heard of
okay.
Apex, North Carolina. What's it close to? Rayleigh?
The Frog?
Ukulele.
It is, yeah, believe it or not, it's like maybe 5 miles from Rayleigh.
Why do they call it? Why call it Apex then? Why not just say that you claim that you're in Rayleigh?
It is the apex of Rayleigh.
Top tier.
Pretty, yeah, it's pretty top tier that you guess.
We're not Rayleigh.
But I
we're-
mean, it's not like North Carolina's got a lot going on in there anyway, so.
It's retro game stuff. Ubisoft San Francisco is the studio behind Rocksmith, South Park The Fractured But Whole, and XDefiant, while Red Storm primarily develops games in the Tom Clancy's franchise. A Ubisoft spokesperson said, quote, "The difficult yet necessary decision was made to align these studios' organizations with their future business and development objectives. Affected employees will receive severance and career assistance," they added. Man, there's a lot of people out there getting career assistance right now in the games industry, right? Ubisoft announced in May that it had canceled The Division Heartland, which had been in development at Red Storm, explaining the decisions in an earnings call.
Fan of the show, Russell's Vision Heartland.
Russell loves Division. Division's new
I
game
haven't
is...
talked about it in a while.
What's that?
I haven't heard him talk about it in a while. It's usually just Battlefield and Helldivers
Yeah, he's been
now.
playing a shit ton of Battlefield. EA Mass... Is it EA Massive? Did they make Division? Where am I coming up with Massive from?
Massive or Reflection Games or something. There.
Massive is the Star Wars studio. Were they not the Division people?
Maybe Reflection
EA
Games. I can't
Motive
remember
is
what
who I had in mind. Massive, I think, made the Division games, and they just have that Star Wars game coming out, I thought. Is that not a Ubisoft joint? The new Star Wars Outlaws?
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Mhm. It is.
Thought so. Explaining the decision in an earnings call, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, I wonder if he took a pay decrease with all these job cuts.
Of course.
Of course he did. Said Heartland didn't align with the company's plans to sharpen its strategic focus on two verticals, open world adventures and native games as a service titles. That sounds like Ubisoft in a nutshell.
I mean, yet they let Skull and Bones live. And cut this one.
$10 copies. Yeah,
Hey,
get rid of
I
this
mean-
thing so we can get our $10 quadruple A game.
I'm ready, man. We got to do it before I'm tired of us doing this shit and the servers always go down or we're fighting. Like, oh, the servers are down in like 2 weeks.
Was your Skull and Bones delivered by a third party called Roadie?
Yeah. So for whatever reason, whenever I
Same.
do order stuff online from Best Buy,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we upgraded you to Roadie. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I didn't pay for that. Do you think it cost them more than $10 to use Roadie than it did to send us the copy of the game?
Probably because you got to pay
so
for somebody to do it, and I couldn't even leave a tip.
Yeah, it's like
what's
it's
funny was
crowdsourced. I was looking for the same thing. Like, okay, this is a very specific person bringing me my game. How do I thank them for bringing me my game?
And I'm not a huge fan because I think there was once that I purchased some, after Thanksgiving Day sales from them, and it was supposed to be delivered by roadie, and then for whatever reason I got a notification that my roadie person couldn't deliver to my house, and then ended up returning it to the store and returning my whole order, and I was like, I asked it to ship it to me, not send it to me through roadie. So I'm like,
yeah, I've had that issue.
I was like, if it's gonna be that big of a deal, why would you go through all that trouble to upgrade it for me? And I was like,
Walmart's done that to me. It's like, no, I didn't elect for this. We couldn't get it to your store. We couldn't get it from the store to your house in time, so we canceled it. No, I didn't ask for this at all. Just ship it to me. I'll take 4 days. It's fine. Quote, in line with the increased selectivity of our investment, we have decided to stop development on The Division Heartland and are redeploying our resources to bigger opportunities like X-Defiant and Rainbow Six Siege, added Chief Financial Officer Frederick Duguet, Duguet. And Frederick has a bunch of things over the E's. Friedrich? Duguet? Sorry, Friedrich. Announced in May 2021, Heartland was planned as a free-to-play multiplayer survival action shooter for PC and consoles. Oh, that's horrible for these 45 jobs. Please provide them with career assistance, a.k.a. money from Yves Guillemot's pocket. He is not going without, ladies and gentlemen. Do not cry for Yves Guillemot at Ubisoft.
Hopefully more than like a month's worth. Hopefully a decent amount.
And legit career assistance, like, we are going to find you a job within blank. That'd be the ideal scenario, right? You're really good at this. We have some other industry partners. You would be a great fit on this team. We've already scouted this out with our talent acquisition coordinators.
I've worked places where, they were like, hey, we're closing up this job, but, you apply for these internal ones we have, and here's the ones we have open, and see what maybe you can learn and, move into, so...
That is the ideal scenario.
Yep.
Next up, Nintendo Museum. Did we all watch this? Did everybody watch the video? I don't think we...
No, I got the tweets. So
okay.
I'm good.
I guess we can summarize. I don't think we have to go through this article. This is from Chris Golion at VGC.
A lot of information, like you said.
Yeah.
It's very detailed from what I saw online of it.
So. Watch the video. It was basically 10 minutes of Miyamoto walking around the new Nintendo Museum. What are the big stats? It opens October 2nd, I think, of this year.
I think you have to be in a lottery, right? It's the lottery for the to get in there.
Know. Like, probably. I would assume at first that it's going to be very selective.
Hopefully we get something like this over here. So, they've done like the Universal Studios, so maybe we get something like this. Because as I was watching this, and I mean those of y'all that know me have known this about me, but I wasn't allowed video games for many years as a youngster. My mom allowed us to buy a 1-cent copy of not Stephen Kent. What is his name? Holy shit, I'm mixing him up with the other video game history author. There's a book called I'm blanking on everything. Anyways, I bought this pennied out copy of Mario taking over the US essentially. And it was all about this backstory of Nintendo. So even though I didn't have video games at home, I was reading about how they were made, how they were developed, who developed them, the artists behind them, the history of Tetris being signed over here, all that sort of stuff. And so, like, seeing this museum, and watch this 10-minute video, it's Miyamoto walking around this new museum, talking about the history of Nintendo, and just going over, like, their history as a card manufacturer. The Love Hotels were not mentioned. Mention the Love Hotels, you cowards. The Hanafuda license, Hanafuda games, which friend of the show Robbie got me a set last year for Christmas. I have some cards actually.
Wow.
Cool part of that museum tour was you get to design your own at a certain part of it. I thought that was really neat. But there's sections built for, like, here's the Famicom and the NES, and here's the European Nintendo Entertainment System versions of those games, and here's how these games looked, and something that I mentioned on the podcast maybe a year ago, when someone close to the family was here, and I went through, like, here's Mario on NES, and then 4 years later, this is what it looked like on Super Nintendo, and then 5 years after that, and here's what it looked like on Nintendo 64, and just, like, went through that progression of those jumps. And they're going to have that stuff in the museum. I'm surprised there's not more memes out there, because there was a bit where they were using a giant Wiimote. So they were playing, like, Wii Resort, the Wii Resort game, and there's, like, 4 people on a Wii remote, like, aiming it at the screen and shit.
Trying to do the Pilot Wings thing.
It looked like Pilot Wings.
Yeah. So to mention earlier, they said it opens October 2nd.
Yeah.
And they're accepting drawing entries for October and November tickets. It's not, you can't just walk up those 2 months. You have to enter a drawing and win. And they said
So it is a lottery.
they give out 10 coins to experience exhibits, and with those 10 coins, you won't be able to experience all the exhibits that are interactive. So you will have to make a return trip.
And it's 8 exhibits, right? Initially?
I think so, but I don't know how the coins point out to it. Because it said all 10 coins wouldn't work for all the exhibits. So
I thought this book was called Making of Mario. I owe it to everyone on the show to have the exact title of this. I think it was something Perry was the author. The confusing part is it was issued, like, he wrote it going in, here it is, Game Over, it's David Sheff. He wrote it going into, like, the Super Nintendo era. It was published in 1993. And then he updated it a little bit with, like, the Genesis being successful and all that kind of stuff. The book title is, here's the reason I didn't remember this. Y'all ready for this? I should have remembered Game Over. That's the cover. Game Over, How Nintendo Zapped an American Industry, Captured Your Dollars, and Enslaved Your Children, is a non-fiction book written by David Sheff and published by Random House. The re-review that I got does not have that same cover. I do have both versions of this. It had an updated title to it. It was Game Over. It didn't have all that zapped your brains, enslaved your kids bit to it.
They cleaned it up a little bit, not for the shock value. Trying to get
but this book, and I remember my pitch, man. I saw that in the EB Games at Stonecrest Mall, and that was back when they still kept the pennied stuff on the shelf, right? Because, I mean, why wouldn't you? That adds to another sale of some kind. But I was like, it's a book, it's history. They're talking about this company.
Oh, but you're talking about that UPT, man.
Yeah, units per transaction. Add that on.
UPT.
But I read that thing cover to cover, and both of us had copies. And Brent, did I give you a copy at some point? That green Game Over book? I feel like it's one of those I would give all my gaming friends. Anybody that it taught me that there was so much behind the games outside of just playing Super Mario Brothers or something. And this is totally not related to this Nintendo museum, but it felt like when I saw him walking around the Nintendo museum that it was a realization, a physical manifestation of what that book that I had read, and that people actually do care about this stuff now. Whereas when I bought that book in 2001 or 2, it wasn't at the forefront of what it is now. I was hoping they were going to mention Gunpei Yokoi on there, just because all the toys and the Ultra Hand made a comeback in Tears of the Kingdom, and I thought that was going to be a big deal, but it was basically just an overview, and it looks really cool. You go from exhibit to exhibit with an NFC card that charges your experience. That thing that I was talking about where you can experience, here's what Super Mario Brothers look like on NES, and then Super Mario World on Super Nintendo. They had them next to each other so you can compare, but they had directional speakers so that when you looked up at it, you only heard the audio from the one that you were checking out at the time. It looked super cool. Was there anything from the article you tagged, Brant, that you wanted to throw in there?
No.
Yeah, the evolution of the Mario and the Zelda series specifically, those two. You know the merch coming from this place is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
They had a whole room dedicated to the Zapper. They, in Nintendo's history, they took over bowling alleys and turned them into these laser clay shooting things, which was the Zapper wasn't their first light gun. Before that, they revitalized Japanese bowling alleys with these laser clay things. And this book, when he's showing me this stuff, I'm like, damn, I remember all this stuff. And they've retro-conned that experience into a light game type thing that you play. where you can either use a newly fitted zapper or the Super Nintendo Super Scope, which of all the gaming accessories and all the game hunting and everything I've done, I have never laid eyes on a Nintendo Super Scope. I have never even seen one, much less own one. It's eluded me for all these years. But it looks really, really cool. October 2nd, as Cesar mentioned. Please bring something like that over here. I think it would be a hit. Video games deserve museums.
I mean, you never know. I mean, Universal Studios eventually got over here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I would happily visit this and take my children. And then chances are we could come back and experience whatever they experience there here, just with some added historical context. Maybe that would add to them, some... Because my kids still like playing Roblox and Minecraft and stuff, and I'm like, I have a pretty decent accumulation of Nintendo history here, or PlayStation history, or Xbox history. So maybe that added context of or it's just I'm the old man yelling at this guy at this point. These things were important to me. Yeah. They'll be important to you. No thanks. Can we get back on Roblox? Can you unlock our iPad so we can get back on Roblox? I'm the iPad unlocker of the year. All right, somebody tell me. I didn't.
It's like being in IT.
Yeah, I don't celebrate Father's Day. I celebrate the best iPad unlocker of the year. Somebody tell me about this Final Fantasy 16 PC announcement. We knew it was coming.
Of course. Like you said, we knew it was coming. Guess what? It's here.
A year later. A year after PS5.
No, yes. Coming September 17th, 2024.
Soon.
The base game is priced at about $50. Will be on Steam and Epic's game stores. The complete edition, which includes the base game plus story expansions, Echoes of the Fallen, and the Rising Tide, is priced at $70.
It would be nice to get a PS5 complete edition retail SKU, would it not?
Yes, it would. And then, of course, with the announcement came the launch of the free demo that is also available on both Steam and Epic Game Store, I believe. This is, I believe, the same demo we got on the PS5, which lets you play through that first little portion of the game, as well as carry over your save data.
A phenomenal demo.
Version. It is the demo that completely sold me on buying the game, because I was like, oh, it's another Final Fantasy game. Okay, I like the aesthetic. It looks pretty cool, but maybe I'll get it eventually. As soon as I played that demo, I was like, nope, day one. I immediately threw money down and I pre-ordered it and bought it, and so.
Because the demo's a prologue. It's like basically the first two chapters of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the first part of the game free to start. They could call this free to start if they wanted to, but I guess demo. Yeah, I guess demo works because you're not paying. I guess free to start means, or at least sounds like you're going to pay for chapters, like you're going to pay for little bits and chunks versus then being out $70 for the complete edition. They would release the complete edition for PS5, but it includes a download voucher for the DLC instead of the full game type thing. I don't know, even if it had that. I haven't paid for that DLC yet. I might gift my original copy to someone who has not played it yet.
Pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I bought it already. I haven't gone back. I need to go back.
You got the DLC also?
Yeah.
I know it launched with or when they announced it was a 15 or 20% discount, I think, if you got it then. So that was worth it to grab it at the time. All right, is that it for Final Fantasy 16? Phenomenal game. Yeah. It was on my Games of the Year list. Did it make all of our Games of the Year?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this game.
It was a damn good game. I know there was a lot of controversy around it because, and even in the bottom of the article, it says, it doesn't quite have the RPG roots of its predecessors and blah, blah, blah. It's I understand if you're wanting that typical turn-based RPG. It's not quite that.
They haven't made one like that since 12, and 12 was a stretch at that.
I mean, it's even lacking, I guess, a lot of the other RPG mechanics that 15 and all those had before it. But I don't know. I still enjoyed the hell out of this game. The story is extremely compelling.
The music is phenomenal.
I'm about to say, I know you enjoyed the enjoyed the music, the story
so
as well.
Good. Story is amazing.
I mean, it's one of the very few Final Fantasy games Richard beat close to release.
Cesar's right.
He's not fighting Final Fantasy X for the last 22 years.
I am. Constantly fighting Final Fantasy X. Me versus Waka. Trying to get the Auroch Abes to the Blitzball final.
I can't believe how many times we discussed about whether Richard should play the Blitzball,
the Besaid Aurochs
in the game. Seriously, it's something that always comes up every time he replays his game. So I'm like,
guess where I'm at right now?
Yeah, we all know you're there.
We know you're there.
Like, oh, should I play this seriously? How could I win?
I'm just gonna say fuck it.
I feel like Blitzball should be a thing that I win.
I don't know. He seems like he would be so happy if he won, but I can never get Walk over the hump. I don't know that I care enough to. I'll just watch it on YouTube one day. I do always bring it up, though, so that's right.
Hey, man, it's ingrained in my mind. I've forgotten many things throughout the years. That's one thing I have not forgotten because it's a constant.
Me and Blitzball.
Yeah.
I want him to win. It shouldn't be in the story like that because you never get a chance to practice. It just throws you into Waka's win or lose future of Blitzball.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to retire if I lose, and then it's like, now I got to join you on this journey because I lost.
Yeah. Which, he still joins you if he wins, but I don't know what that looks like, so.
Yeah. I don't think I've had the pleasure of either, so.
We've never won that match?
No.
Blitzball sucks. There's people out there who love Blitzball.
It's like a filler. It's like a filler episode.
That's exactly how I feel about Blitzball. But then there's people who are like, there's a full Blitzball minigame. You can recruit members and like coach them up and level them up and all this kind of stuff.
It's like that. For me, it's like that weird episode of Naruto where he goes to like the neighborhood ramen shop and not the one he normally goes to. So I'm like, I just want to just get the rest.
It's just an offshoot. Get us past this.
That's not even a real thing I talked about, but that's what I feel like it would be if that's all.
You're like, I'll take whatever story beat I can. Let's just move past this.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, let's get to the next part.
I put this in the news. This came out of nowhere. Atari's new 7800 console remake can also play your old Atari 2600 cartridges. That's not the news because the original 7800 could do that. This is a new console announced by Atari today.
Don't forget the plus, man.
Plus 7800 plus. I apologize, Cesar. Thanks for pointing that out.
I mean, we have plus in our streaming services.
Yep,
and
we do.
Our music, so we got to make sure we announce the plus.
We do. Our phones. Some of our phones have a plus at the end of it. Or do they make those anymore? Now they're Maxes. Pros and Maxes.
Yep.
This comes from Jess Weatherbed at TheVerge.com. Atari has a treat.
Hell of a last name. Holy shit. Hell of a last name.
It was like a Bond.
Villain, yeah.
Bond villain or a Bond female co-host? Co-adventurer?
I mean, this could have been an Austin Powers movie. You would have read it like that again. So. It's my associate, Jess.
Jess Weatherbed. Oh, behave, Jess. Whether bed or not to bed. Man, we could write the next Austin Powers film. Sorry, Jess, you didn't deserve that. It's just
No,
yeah.
absolutely not.
We delved into that. Atari has a treat for those of you sitting on a cache of Atari 7800 game cartridges, of which I don't think they made that many. A new compact recreation of the classic home console, complete with backwards compatibility. The company has teamed up with Plaion, Plaion, Plaion.
Play on. Sounds like it's a play on words.
Play on words. Cesar? To announce the Atari 7800 Plus, which comes equipped with an HDMI port to connect to modern televisions. Boo. Alongside support for both Atari 2600 and 7800 game cartridges, just like the original console. The $129.99 Atari 7800 Plus is available to pre-order now with a global release expected in winter 2024, according to Atari's press release. Players can also choose between running games a widescreen or 4:3 aspect ratio to preserve the feeling of playing games on retro hardware. They're also going to release a CX78 Plus wireless gamepad, which was the weird... It was like a 2-button copy of the NES controller with a weird protruding joystick. So think like a N64 direction pad. That wasn't a D-pad. What'd they call that? The control stick on the N64. Yeah. But obviously like only 8 directions, not the whole tilt slowly to make Mario slowly walk versus sprinting. Comes bundled with the Atari 7800 Plus, but can also be purchased separately for $34.99. The gamepad also wirelessly connects to the Atari 2600 Plus recreation released last year and can be connected to a PC via a USB adapter. There's also the $34.99 CX40 Plus wireless joystick, which is sold separately and carries the same support. Atari touts that the Atari 7800 Plus has near perfect compatibility with original and third-party Atari games. Only one game is being shipped with the console itself, a specifically designed cartridge for the Crystal Castles sequel, Bentley Bears Crystal Quest, but 10 additional titles will be available to purchase separately for $29.99. This is much like the Atari 2600 from last year that they mentioned. It's basically just in that 7800 form factor, because they also released this controller the same way. And an important thing with that 2600 last year was that it also played 7800 games. So this is basically just a reskin, and I guess they're...
Yeah.
Are there more people nostalgic for the 7800 versus the 2600?
I don't know.
I thought this was interesting. I've been tempted that Atari has been down to like $100, I think. So maybe this is there will be some weird sales with this one, that sort of thing, and that'll drop down. It would be, we talk about streaming games all the time. We rarely do it, but it would be an easier way to get capture from an Atari 2600 or 7800, which they only use coax out.
Are you playing River Raid on that one? Finally?
I would love to play some damn River Raid. There's other collections to play River Raid, but it would be fun to play on original hardware without hooking up a VCR. A VCR would probably be the easiest way to go from coax to AV with all the artifacting involved. Can the RetroTink? Yeah, it can grab 240p like that. It did for the NES. All right, so look for that to hit shelves later this year. Was there an exact date on it? I like when companies do this.
Just said winter, right? Winter.
Yeah. This new Atari seems to give a shit. They signed up Digital Eclipse for a bunch of their stuff, so I don't think we'll see stupid stuff like the speaker hats anymore. And as much as I love like the Super Nintendo Mini and the Genesis Mini and all that, if we got actual recreations of that hardware like this, I think that would be, even though it's a system on a chip, but even just having something newer and authentic to play those cartridges on, to me, is a big deal. Without the $500 or $600 alternatives from, what was that company taking they didn't even do the FPGA route until their first couple. Was it Analog? Was making like NESs with actual NES chipsets in them?
It's typically
Analog. Yeah, and then they went the FPGA route after that. Last but not least, sorry, you want your Game Pass section?
I prefer not, but I will go.
It's not too heavy. This is a light one.
I mean, it's Wave 2, man. What the fuck?
This is Wave 2. Are they advertising as Wave 2, or is that Brandt? Is this a Brandt nomenclature?
That's Brandt's naming scheme. That's probably going to stick with it. All right, so this is from Xbox Wire. Megan Spur. Good old Megan Spur, who always updates us every wave.
Doesn't matter which wave.
I don't know.
Megan's a big wave race fan.
Yeah.
It is always Megan Spur, isn't it?
So they mentioned on here, you got Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Early Access Open Beta. It's a mouthful. Started August 30th. So this is where you get your first taste of next level action coming to Black Ops 6.
Have they outlined? Have they outlined what we can do with that, or is that coming on Gamecom news stuff? Because I know they're having a Gamecom night.
I think Microsoft has a night, right? So we got games content today. We have the single player campaign introduction. So I think Microsoft has a showcase. I imagine it would probably be on that. Because what was it? Who knows, man? Because they had like a World of Warcraft showcase coming, and I mean, there's a bunch of shit going around.
It's still weird to me seeing that on Xbox stuff, but
I would imagine it'd be on the Xbox showcase. Because I mean, Xbox paid $70 billion to make sure that Sony wouldn't get the exclusive on the open beta anymore. Right. But
amongst other things, that's not just beta. Pay $70 billion beta.
Hey man, whatever story I put in my head is the most.
The head canon.
All right, let's see.
The ultimate head canon.
That pisses off the world. That's the funny part. So it's like they got more than that. I'm like, yeah, whatever. All right, so the beta starts. pre-downloading August 28th, and I think it kicks off August 30th. So there's no weird console exclusive rounds. I think it all happens.
Everybody just gets in, and the Xbox Wire gets to put it in their Game Pass section.
Of course, and I think Comcast is giving out free access to this as well. Oh. So there's many
branches to the exposure. Yeah, avenues. Avenues works.
So in 2 days you have Atlas Fallen, which is an open world action RPG. I feel like I remember what it was.
I don't remember this game. Did anybody play it?
No.
What is it supposed to be, like the Lords of the Ring type esque? I don't remember. I can't remember if it's Souls-esque or it's that weird area where all these AA games start to mesh, like steal stuff from like Elden Ring or Bloodborne, and
with a little bit of Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it's like some Assassin's Creed stuff, some Ubisoft.
Could be. It sounds like it is Breath of the Wild-esque. It's this open world action RPG adventure. But it's neither here or there. So this got a major free update called Arena Sand. It's got some new voice acting, rework campaign, and you face off with more formidable creatures, and as well as a new Game Plus difficulty mode. So this seems like a good point to jump in. So that's coming August 22nd. You have a Core Keeper August 27th, which is underground adventure that shape your journey, craft, build, and explore in a dynamic world, which I guess is like a Minecraft-esque type of game. I wish I had images on here so I can kind of describe it to you, but it's just black ink on white paper. So the next one is Star Trucker. Oh, that's a hell of a name. September 3rd.
Oh, you Star Trucker, you.
Available day one with Game Pass. Hop in the driver's seat of your rocket-powered big rig as you haul cargo, scavenge for salvage, and interact with a electric cast of star-hopping truckers for this Americana-infused journey in the ultimate open road space.
Oh, I like Americana-infused. Now we're talking.
In space. I can dig some sci-fi. So then you have more games coming in Game Pass Core, which is August 21st, which I think is City Skylines, Control, and then SnowRunner. This is the one that updates every quarter, I believe, is what they go for.
Yeah.
This is the basic version. It just gives you online.
The quarterly update.
Games. I don't know if I'm saying this properly, but then you have Vampire Survivors Dark Acid.
Yeah, don't know if that's right. It looks right.
Dark Asso, but I'm going to say Dark. All right, yeah. Let me stop. All right, so with this update. With this update, Vampire Survivors are getting Dark Kansas. What the like Arkansas but dark? What the fuck's happening?
No, they're getting. All right, they're getting Darkansas.
Darkansas. Oh no, I always called it Arkansas. But that's probably why I said you know me, man.
Speaking of which.
All right, going on. This update includes Room 1665, which sounds like a weird Anno 1665, but a new stage made of 16 rooms that will challenge players to fight their way through all the floors of this devilish room. Then you have your Game Pass Ultimate Perks, which is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. 5 champions are available now. Blah blah blah. X-Defying Crimson Pack. And then Elder Scrolls Online 10th Anniversary. Holy shit.
That game's 10 years old? Wow.
Huh? Yeah, that's crazy, right? Then you have leaving August 31st. So before it leaves, you may want to get in there and play some Atomic Heart, Guilty Gear Strive, and then NBA 2K24, which I guess makes sense because it's got to make way for the new one that's coming out next month. And that is as Brant has quoted, Wave 2 of Game Pass for August.
Brant, thank you for blessing with Wave 2. Yep. And I can't stop thinking about Darkansas.
Arkansas.
Take me to Darkansas.
Real quick, to add on to a little bit of news, because I couldn't find an article. All I had
was the
addendum. The Wario tweet from today. About the titles that are leaving PlayStation Plus Extra in September.
That was a long list.
Yeah,
it's all Star
bunch of Star Ocean games.
90% of it. Yeah.
So yes, like Cesar just mentioned, it's there's a shit ton of Star Ocean, the Divine Force, Integrity, and the Faithlessness.
Horizon, right? I think was in there.
Till the End of Time, First Departure R, and the Last Hope. We also have Spirit Farer near Replicant.
Still need to play Spirit Farer. I hear such good things about that.
Cloudpunk, Alien Isolation, Marvel's Midnight Suns, which was that card-based one, and the big one at the top of the list here was Horizon Forbidden West.
It's an interesting subtraction.
Well, I mean, they removed the original Horizon.
You have so much good first-party stuff, though, in this catalog.
This year?
Where are you putting the Horizon games if those aren't available?
I mean, I imagine they're just going to recycle them right at some point, like they've done when we made this list. Like,
re-entering.
How many times Watch Dogs 2's re-entered in fucking
re-entering.
Plus,
I like that, re-entering.
85 times.
Yeah, Watch Dogs comes and goes. At least PlayStation Blog notes like, hey, this is a comeback title for PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, with those first party, I wonder if it's not like they have to renegotiate or something. Cut them a new check or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Richard's Time Splitters came out today.
They're out $10 a piece. It's not bad. I've got the second and third ones digitally on Xbox, so I can probably wait for sales for those on PlayStation. But I mean, those games by themselves are $30 a piece. I was kind of checking that out, and they're 20 to 30 a piece depending on condition and such. But pretty good way to get them, $10, and they include the rewind and all that. Yeah. The save states. Oh, that's a game changer.
Yes,
that's good stuff. Let's get into games played. I have, of course, played some Warzone with you fine gentlemen.
Yay. Good job.
That content is out there. You can watch. We made, probably 6 hours of Warzone content between last recording and now?
I mean, we're back, man. We're back.
We are back.
Yeah, our first game we got first, and then we got several second place wins and maybe 1 6th place.
And I've been threatening it for some weeks now, and I went in respect. I went into the... Weish keeps bugging me about what gun that is. I need to go and see what gun that was I actually used. Because I was like, I don't know. I just picked one in the gunsmith and put new gear on there.
Yeah, your gun gifted by the gods.
I did, because I racked up that first match we played. We came in first. I had 11 kills. I'm not that Warzone player. I'll be the first to tell you. And then the second round, I got 10. It's like I'm not that person. I promise, guys. I'm sorry. This is a new gun. I apologize. As I'm mowing them down.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how I'm doing this. This never usually happens.
That thing was awesome. Make Warzone fun again. I'm having a lot of time with that weapon. I need to share that gun. Some games acquired. I can't remember we were talking about Evercade. I know we were talking about the Legacy of Kain collection that's coming, and we talked about the Tomb Raider news. But I looked at some Evercade titles that were sitting out there, and I'm not wild about all of his content, but Metal Jesus Rocks on YouTube talks about some Evercade stuff. Give or take his personality and views on the retro gaming community. But he was pointing out, these Evercade collections are like... So this is the Sunsoft collection one that I showed off here. And we recently got an announcement of like an Arrow the Acrobat collection. I think Cesar was playing Arrow the Acrobat. That's on this cartridge. I got this cartridge for $24, and it comes with Arrow the Acrobat, Arabian, Journey to Silius, which is like $100 on NES, Blaster Master Boy, which is the Game Boy version of Blaster Master. Neat way of putting that. Blaster Master from the NES, phenomenal game, and I've actually never played the Game Boy edition. And Mr. Gimmick, which we just recently got. That was that import NES game from many, many years ago. And they recently announced a Mr. Gimmick too, right? It's crazy, man. These
fresh one, yeah.
And, just like we expected back in the day, I'm showing the video feed of this. You get a cartridge in the case, and you get an instruction manual with a breakdown of some things from each game. Since then, I've ordered the Pico Collection 4, which comes with Glover. So they somehow managed to fit an N64 game onto this cartridge format. So I'm interested to see how that is going to look, along with some other titles. But I think Glover, can't believe I'm going to say this. Glover is the big get there. Again, $24. And I pre-ordered the aforementioned Tomb Raider pack. You get Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 on a cartridge with the new Evercade EXP-R which is like a more affordable version of the EXP version, which is a follow-up to the original Evercade that Cesar and I purchased. Cesar's been like 4 years ago now. I think that thing came out in like 2020. And they've just steadily been releasing new hardware for it. There's a consoleized version one that you can get where up to 4 players can play that loads like 2 cartridges at a time that you can swap between. Did you ever get that, the more recent one, Cesar, the EXP, or do you still have your original Evercade?
So the original.
Yeah. So I fired that up and was just kind of tinkering. It was like a Data East collection that was in there. I had to update the damn thing because, Cesar, if you're like me, you haven't updated that thing in a couple years. You're going to go from so it capped out on firmware. The firmware on it, the last one is like 3.0. And mine was on like 1.2, I think. So it had to make a hell of a jump there. There's a bunch of versions we missed, iterations. But it's a really neat little ecosystem, and they keep supporting that, and they keep, for the most part, publishing the games. Like I scanned all. Brant and I used that game collecting app called Game Eye. I scanned all my cartridges in there, and everything's like, it just says it's like $25 to $30 worth. There's no crazy, $800 SKU out there that you just can't. There might be, but it's none of the ones that I have at least. But they make them obtainable. Like you can get a hold of these still. And it's a fun little thing to collect for. I think that is it for my games played this week. Messed around with the Evercade and dominated Warzone with my 2 co-hosts here. Oh, man, that rotation on trios, no offense to whoever's our 4th person outside of the 3 of us, but it is so much fun playing trios and playing a variety of maps. We got to play Vondel, we got to play not Ashika.
Fortune's Keep.
Fortune's Keep, what's the other? Uncharted Drake's Fortune Keep.
Drake's Fortune.
Oh, and Rebirth Island. That's right. Yeah. Man, give us a Sheikah again. Why is that one out of the rotation? Why take a map off? It doesn't make any sense. But I've thoroughly enjoyed playing those modes again. Playing those maps again outside of the... If we get 4 people, we're stuck on Rebirth.
Bullshit mode.
We're only doing that one, right? Rebirth over and over and over.
That's how we get good at Rebirth.
It is. It forces us to run that same thing over and over. But that is it for my games played this week, gentlemen.
Yeah, Odemo, same. Always was the 2 wins in Warzone because we had one in the beginning, one at the end.
And that was Sunday night, and we won a bunch Friday night, right? Did we play Friday, Thursday, or Friday? I don't feel
like we played Friday.
We got some wins in between here and there. I thought.
I
don't
remember. Everything's blurring together. Yeah.
Everything's blurring together.
I spent too much time on it. The only thing I can allude to, and I'll start on this, and I can hand it over to Brant, is I did play for the first time, I did play Final Fantasy 16 demo.
Oh!
I did it on my PC, because I knew it ran like shit on Steam Deck.
Oh, there's my answer from the prelude.
Yeah. Because I knew instantly, because I think I saw it ran better on the Ally Rock X, and it still ran like shit on that one, because it was still dropping the upper 20s. And that thing is not really optimized for those handheld consoles yet. So I remember reading an interview somewhere that's something they were interested in doing at some point. But the download's not much. It was like 13 gigs.
It's not bad.
My computer met the recommended specs. So it ran it at 3440 by 2096, and then it was at 60 frames per second constant.
Beautiful.
I thought I had some people online had it running on I read that they were running on a 470 and it was hitting 120 frames per second. So it's not entirely a beast to run per se, but it is definitely does put like these modern handheld PC consoles to their knees type of thing. So I only played maybe the first 5-10 minutes, and it runs pretty smoothly because I didn't feel like hooking up a controller, and it wanted me to do everything by a keyboard and mouse, and I think I had to use my left click button to launch the fire attacks from the Phoenix, and then use the control button to jump back and forth between different areas.
So weird.
To dodge. And I was like, that's enough of that. Yeah. And then that's after I spent about 2 or 3 minutes on that, and then I stopped doing it. So, I mean, that's pretty much literally everything I did this week. I'm going to pass this over to Brant to finish up this last part here. So.
Yep, aside from the Warzone, I also jumped at the chance to play that Final Fantasy 16 demo, but I downloaded it on the Steam Deck.
How bad was it? They're usually good at optimizing this stuff.
I only saw the little Windows logo, and it warned me when I booted it up. So it booted up fine. I mean, I went through the settings and it had me on low graphic settings and everything, but still like 60 frames a second. The menu looked okay. I was like, all right, well, let's try it. It starts at the what we affectionately called like the kaiju battles, where you have the giant summon creatures fighting.
They are kaiju-esque.
And
the icons
immediately started getting jittery and slow down.
Brent, you got to use left on your mouse and control, like Cesar said.
Then, as action actually started happening, I got the breaks in the sound and distortion. And frame dips. So I dipped back out into the menu. I tried to drop it to 40 and then tried locking it at 30 FPS.
No dice.
No.
Were your fans going like...
There's this really cinematic scene where Bahamut tackles the Phoenix and they're falling in this giant like open cave, and there's a bunch of debris and everything. Like the debris is just straight like shaped polygons. There's no like small little debris.
No textures.
Fine detail. No textures.
It's like an N64 boulder coming down from the sky.
Yeah, everything was blurred as hell. I was like, oh god. And then when it finally cuts out and goes to the part where you get to actually start like the walking sequence as Clive, and it's telling you about the menus and everything. I had to, again, the frame dipping and stuttering was so bad, and at this point I could actually see the graphical fidelity of the game and the details on the characters. Everything looked so smoothed out and bad. It looked like a really bad PS2 game.
Oof.
Like it was that bad. I said, this is not meant for this machine.
You're counting frames per second.
It was so bad.
Oof.
It ran so poorly.
Damn.
So I was like, this is definitely not for this machine. I gave it a try, but it is unplayable like this. Considering I played the game on PS5, so I know how it's supposed to look. And yeah, so I'm obviously gonna wait until they do some tweaking and get it deck verified.
There's a Steam Deck Twitter account called, I think it's Steam Deck HQ, but they're usually really good at saying, like, they'll be out there immediately. That's what gave me confidence with Beyond Good and Evil. They're usually out there immediately like, this runs amazingly on Steam Deck. I haven't seen jack shit from them about this demo. I guess we're not going to.
Good. It is not good.
Yeah. Awesome. Did your Steam Deck recover? Was it like, please uninstall?
Yeah.
Please leave me be.
It was struggling very, very hard. But yeah, it's fine. But that's all I got up to.
Murphy says, was that about the same time you warned me about Switch games? Switch games running on handheld, maybe? Bringing it to its knees, potentially?
No, but friend of the show, Murmy, did share that they purchased pre-ordered a Switch.
Here we go!
The proud owner of the new Zelda-themed Switch.
Beautiful console. Hell of a time to get in on that ecosystem, too.
They were very excited about several different games, and some of the games they mentioned, I kind of just went, don't get super excited because that kind of runs like booty hole on Switch. But either way, I think they'll be happy with their purchase once they get going.
For sure. Hell of a library. Might have to go through and see if I have any surplus that they can partake in.
Yeah, I mean, 7 years of game.
I thought about that. Yeah. I thought about that too, but that particular individual hates our physical media lifestyle.
If I can't get it digital, I don't want to play it.
This person doesn't understand the fact that they're going to have to like keep up with a bajillion micro SD cards if they
We all have choices. It's just a different type of physical media. I guess it's this big instead of...
Or what do you call it? Just clean the fridge?
Yes, clean out the fridge. I hate having to clean out the fridge.
They're constantly deleting it. And
I sent a friend of the show, Mills, and friend of the show, Russell, that PS5 2 terabyte drive that was recently on sale. They were like, what do I need this for? I was like, you're not cleaning out the fridge? And they have dedicated Helldiver boxes on PS5. It's like, yeah, that's it. Helldivers and Astrobot, I guess. Hey, Astrobot's coming up, isn't it?
Beginning of September,
it's not far. I'm excited. Murphy says they did not ask to be bullied. And then 3 seconds later, Jesus. And then 2 seconds later, Christ. So... They feel attacked in the comments.
Sounds about right.
We somehow became a religious show.
Yeah, feel attacked in the comments. All right, you guys got anything else you want to add? Do we?
No, I think we're good.
Do we want to do any Warzone? We want to play some Warzone?
We can.
I mean, we could get a round in.
Brand, a round turns into like 5 rounds.
Okay, like a round or 2.
We can get 45 minutes of rounds.
Till 10?
Yes. Exactly about 45
I'm good
minutes.
with that. All right, I guess if you're watching the show with us, there's 7 of us, 8 of us. Switch over to Twitch or YouTube in the next minute or 2, and we will be on some Warzone. So
I'm gonna just keep refreshing the browser, and eventually we'll be
pop back up
with a 5-minute hiatus in between or something.
Oh, Brent needs a hiatus. He's saying.
I'm good, but some people might.
Yeah, might take advantage.
It's usually a hiatus.
Might take advantage of a brief break. Yeah. I'll at least fire up the Xbox.
Somebody has to go grab a drink or,
Brant, I owe you some materials too. So tonight before I go up, I need to round up those materials. I just keep forgetting. So,
all right, just I guess before we jump on there, we'll talk about it and just set a reminder on her phone or something. I mean,
that works. Yep, I'll get with you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.